All right, guys, so I've been getting a lot of questions on the Explore activity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over that with you because that was your Bellwork, and I want to make sure that you guys understand it. Then I'm going to go over the examples that were in the video. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to break down this composite figure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this figure up into several different shapes that I know. So I'm going to first start by breaking it here, 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 and here. Now, you could have broken it up differently at the end. You could have broken it up into a square and another rectangle, but I like to work with rectangles. That's just how I am. So I broke it up this way. Now, I've noticed that my composite figure is broken up into 4 different rectangles. Now, I need to find the area of each rectangle in order to find the area of the entire thing. So, now I have to figure out the length and the width of each rectangle. But first, I noticed that I only have one side length over here, and it's broken up into 4 different sections. So I have to figure out how many feet are in each section. So this whole green side is 46 feet, but it's not broken up evenly. All the widths of the rectangles are different. So I have to figure out what they are. So first I'm going to start off with my bottom rectangle, and I notice that the width over here is 8 feet. So I know that rectangles opposite sides are equal, so over here is also going to be 8 feet. I'm going to move up to the next rectangle. Let me change my color. So I noticed that this next rectangle is 12 feet wide. So on the opposite side, this will also be 12 feet. Next, I'm going to change colors. Ooh, purple. Next, I have what looks like a square. I don't know if it is yet. It has a width of 16. Now, you notice how the last piece, if I look at this side of the rectangle that's left, I don't have a width. But I do have 3 other pieces to an entire side. So to figure out what's missing, I'm going to take 16, 12, and 8, and I'm going to add them up to see how many feet that side is so far. So I get that it's 36 feet. Now, the original side length was 46 feet. So what's left over? Well, if I do simple subtraction, I'm going to be left with 10 feet. So I've now broken up all of these figures so far so they all have a width. Now I need to figure out the lengths of them. So right off the bat, I can see that this top rectangle is going to have a length of 10 and a width of 10 and a length of 42. So I can do 10 times 42, and that would give me an area of 420 feet squared. Next, I have, now this is where things get a little messy. So now I move on to what looks like it's a square. So I don't have a length for the top piece, but I know the whole piece here is 42 feet. So I have to figure out, okay, what's this piece going to be? So I don't have enough information yet on that one. So I'm going to move to another piece that I can figure out, which would be the very bottom rectangle. So I know that the very bottom rectangle, change colors again, has a length of 42 feet and a width of 8. So I can do area equals 42 times 8, which would give me an area of 336 feet squared. Now, I can then figure out the length of the rectangle that is right above it. So using right here. So I know that this piece is 12 feet and this whole entire line is 42 feet. So I would simply have to do 42 minus 12 and this piece would be 30. Now that gives me enough information to find the area of the next rectangle, which would be here. So now I have 30, which is the length, times 12, which would be the width. And that would give me an area of 360 feet squared. Now, if this whole side length is 30 and this little piece is 20, that means the remainder that I have is going to be, well, you guessed it, 10. So now I have enough information to find the area of that last piece. So I'm going to do 10, which is the width, or the length, times 16, which is the width, and I'm going to get an area of 160 feet squared. Now, this is really messy, and that's okay because we're just learning it, and this is a pretty complicated figure. So now what I'm going to do is, in order to find the area of the whole thing, I have to take the area of each piece and I have to add them up. So I'm going to go to a clean page and I am going to find the area of this composite figure. So I'm simply going to take all of the areas that I found. So I first started with 420, then we had 160, then I had 360, then I had 336. Add all those up, 6, 12, 14, 17, 5, 4, 5, 6, and so if you add it up correctly, you should have gotten 1,276 feet squared as the area of that composite figure. Now, there are multiple ways to have broken that figure up. I like to do it in as small amount of shapes as possible so that I don't have a lot of other work to do. So I know that this is probably confusing, but we are going to do a lot of practice with it. I'm going to move on to the next video will be all of your examples from the video that you should have watched. And hopefully that this, if you were confused, this little clip helped you a little bit. Maybe you can go back and try again. I'm going to work through those other ones for you. And then if you still are really struggling, please message me so that we can set up a time, maybe on Wednesday, one-on-one for Zoom, so that we can, work through it together. I'm going to be having a Zoom for your classes as well on Thursday, so please make sure that you have questions, because I want to make sure that you guys understand this, because I know it's hard and I know it's tricky, especially not being at school and sitting with me as we work through it together. So keep your chins up. We got this. We can do it. And I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Bye.